I'm Anne-Marie. I am the founder of the Retail Innovation Lounge, and we are in Los Angeles with Phil Raub, co-founder of b8ta, which is a new, innovative retail concept, and I would say #disruptive.
Right. Yeah, we kind of like to think of ourselves as kind of retail as a service. So it's really kind of software-powered retail experience within the physical world.
So it's a totally disruptive model, and I would love to learn a little bit more about actually the genesis of why you thought, because you come from Silicon Valley, you come from a kind of the tech space actually.
Right.
What you saw was the opportunity there, and where you're seeing the disruption happen from your perspective, bringing this new retail form of retailing into the retail space.
Right. Well, I think it was myself and my co-founders who we all met at Nest. And being on the hardware and kind of manufacturing side, as a maker, you kind of understand like there's a lot of challenges when getting a product into retail. People think, oh wow, Nest, big company, part of Google, really easy. You must, it's really simple. Well, it wasn't, and we had rather large budgets, and we understood that like getting a product into retail and on shelf in the way that you want your brand represented was really difficult. And so what we recognize is that there's so many kind of direct-to-consumer brands now who have gotten to the point where they can't survive just on e-commerce alone. And so we said, well, how do you actually give these brands the same kind of element of control, but also taking out and removing all of kind of the cost, removing all of the kind of the headache and the difficulty and the timing that it takes to get a product into consumers' hands in the physical kind of world. And that's really kind of the genesis behind b8ta, and the thinking about it was like, how do we use technology, how do we use software in order to enable makers to have a kind of that ideal experience in the physical world, and at the same time being able to get all of the data and analytics that you can get in the online space.
Fantastic. So, and also really it's a speed to market thing too. When you remove the red tape, it really is on trend with a sort of an on-demand instant now, and when you're saying direct to consumer, like why do I need a middleman necessarily? You don't necessarily need the traditional way we've known retail.
Yeah, we see ourselves kind of always as always felt like the retailer's role should be kind of shrunk down, and it should be more of bringing the consumer and the maker as close together as possible.
Yeah.
And our role really should be kind of small, whereas traditionally the retailer took on all of the burden and responsibility and was much bigger. We think that actually the maker wants to have the responsibility, they want to have that control over their brand, they want to be able to not give away the majority of the kind of cost and eat up and erode their profit margins. So for us, it was like, how do you kind of figure out that balance? Trade it, the balance between creating both a sales and a marketing platform. And that was kind of really the thinking behind what we've done in the retail space.
And I think it's really fascinating too, because you're coming to retail, and this is what I feel like I'm starting to see a lot of the best ideas for retail are not coming from retail.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Other than myself and just a handful of other individuals in the company, very few people in our company have retail experience.
I think it's
and it's been a great balance, right? Because sometimes we can kind of at least keep people kind of within, within the boundaries sometimes of certain things that occur and advise. But I think it's great because we have so much thinking that comes from that outside world. Like Vibha, who's our CEO, is a software engineer.
Right.
And it really, it was his thinking and really kind of brought this whole idea to the forefront, because it was challenging that conventional wisdom of, anytime I would say, well, that's how things are done in retail, you'd be like, well, why, right? And constantly, even our retail staff today, like, again, who probably the only individuals in the company that have kind of a traditional retail background, they'll be like, well, we can't do that. And I'm like, why can't you do that? You've been trained so much to thinking that you can't do that, when actually you can. There's nothing that prohibits you from doing it, other than basically your management and the leadership saying that you couldn't do it. And so we've kind of broken out all those barriers, and when we hire people, make sure we try to let them know that we are going to retrain your thinking and the way that you've traditionally been taught and how you've been taught how to do things for the last 10 to 15 years.
That's incredible, and I think that is the right answer, because for me, I keep, I do a lot of these things and attend a lot of shows and conferences. You hear from people, which there are some good ideas out there from the retail world, but also I don't want to continue to hear from the retail world, because that was a different chapter in history.
Right. Yeah.
And the new ideas and the fresh ideas are coming from forward thinkers like you that are disrupting and changing the space. So CMO, Phil Raub, thank you.
Yes.
I look forward to
Great.
big things from b8ta. He's doing pop-up stores, shop-in-shops. You're opening your own locations.
Yep.
That's a topic like unto itself because it's a new model, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole new model.
Yeah, a lot of exciting things happening by the end of this year. We'll have 9 of our own locations, and then we've got a bunch of new partnerships that'll be kind of springing up as well. So it's exciting times. Thank you.
It's exciting times. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on b8ta.
Great. Thank you.